I can hear my shop teacher's words in my ears right now. Use the right tool for the job, asshole! Well, on some of y'all's advice, I went out and dropped $68 on these freaking brazing rods, which they only sell by the pound. And that's what it was, 68 bucks a pound for the 2% or 5%. And it just went up from there to holy shit. And I had to run around several places till I found some that were affordable. Most of them had 10, 15, 20%, and those were, oh my god. So it took me 2 and a partial, but I can use those stubbies for other things to seal up the bottom. But here it is. I got that in there for a counterweight to hold this over the edge of the workbench so I don't set my workbench on fire. But it brazed up real nice, and I had to get this shit cherry red to get that stuff to melt. But I also had the added bonus of I could see where my quote unquote leaks were by where the flame was still coming through, and I got it all built up good, and I bet this sumbitch is going to be watertight this time. Here comes the Predator. Flying a little high today, and I have achieved watertight integrity. Next thing I'm going to do is a boil test. Set this thing up on the fryer, propane burner, and let her boil. See what happens. We're lit. I got her on a nice low, easy flame, and we'll see what happens. I just wanted to mention that I'm keeping the flame low because that's where you would want it during your distillation process, because you wouldn't want to burn your water. You wouldn't want to burn your mash, and that's what you do is you bring it up slow and easy to a light, very light boil. You don't want to goose the thing and burn your stuff at the bottom. I just turned the flame up because the water wasn't even lukewarm yet after about 5 minutes. So I kicked it up a notch. Well, it's been 45 minutes. I got steam starting to rise. As you can see, there's no leaks anywhere under there, and we should be boiling here pretty soon. And that's probably about the rate that you want to heat this stuff up. We're sitting at an hour and 15 minutes. This thing really wants to boil. It's got bubbles forming on the bottom. I'm going to kick the heat up some more. I got flames licking the sides there, so see how everything holds up. Okay, it's been an hour and 20 minutes and I'm getting impatient, so I go ahead and kicked it up. We're gonna have a trial by fire. You can see flames are really kicking. Get this thing boiling good and hot. We got no leaks. We're good to go. This is a lot hotter than you'll want to boil your mash, distill your water, and everything's looking good. It's been going for an hour and a half, and it's almost about to boil. You can see the black stuff on the side there. That's what it's going to look like after you burned it on the propane burner. Um, I'll deliver them all shiny and pretty, but it ain't gonna stay that way unless you keep it up. Alright, I really kicked the flame up now. I want to see this bugger at a rolling boil. I'm pretty damn confident at this point that it's going to be good. This is way more than you're going to be firing this thing. And you got to realize too that this is open versus the closed with the column on top. This is real good fire test, and it's holding up really good. Alright, it's been an hour and 45 minutes. I just kicked that heat up big time just a minute ago. And we're at a good rolling boil, or the beginnings of a good rolling boil. And I'm going to let it ride like that. No leaks. Alright, we've been at a good rolling boil. It's been 2 hours. And it's holding up good. Perfect. Well, this thing's been going for 2.5 hours now. Been going for about the last 45 minutes at a pretty good clip. You can see the flames licking the side. You can see the water level has dropped. It's been at a good rolling boil for a while. I'm going to call this test a success. And if you boil this thing dry, you're just retarded. If it does boil dry, it's going to take a long damn time to do it. Especially since, this is just open topped right here. It's not going through the distillation column or anything. And that would slow things down a little bit. Yeah, to boil this dry and melt the solder out of the seam, it ain't going to happen. So this is good to go. And tomorrow I'm going to braise the cone and the collar on top and build the cap, and I will probably go ahead and braise the column into the cap, and this sucker will be done, ready to go. I just went ahead and kicked this pig up to turbo. I'm going to leave it like that for a little bit. See how it goes.